I'm Rachel and welcome back to my channel, Bales 1986 SW. And today is something completely different for my channel. As you know, my channel is all about my weight loss journey on the Slimming World plan. But I'd like to sprinkle a little bit of my personality on my channel. I am a huge fan of Disney, and I love nothing more than going to Disneyland Paris. I have been fortunate and lucky enough to be able to go to Disneyland Paris more than 25 times, and I thought I would give you some of my tips and tricks which I have learned through my experiences of going to Disneyland Paris to hopefully make your Disneyland experience extra magical. The main question I always get asked is, when's the best time to go to Disneyland Paris? And to be quite honest, anytime. Anytime you go to Disney is absolutely magical. Disneyland Paris is open 365 days of the year. It is never ever closed. But obviously if you go on a seasonal event, so like springtime, Halloween, Christmas, or when they have their other summer events on, I think 2019 is Pirates and Princesses, then you're going to get extra magical bits and bobs, so like extra parades, extra shows and things like that. But if you go any other time where there is not an event going off, there will be extra magic, don't worry, you're not missing out. It's just a little bit more magical if you go in the seasonal events. Also as well, just to bear in mind, if you do tend to go in a seasonal event, then just be more prepared that the price point will be slightly higher than normal, but booking in advance is the best thing I can ever say. So when I book for my December holiday, I always book it the beginning of the year, just so you can put money aside and it doesn't become too much, too close. So yeah, that's one of my top tips. Then the second thing I always get asked is, how do you get to Disneyland Paris? Any means of transport, to be quite honest. A side note, there is coach holidays, like the national holidays do holidays via the coach, so there's that option. Then there's the Eurotunnel, the ferry, the Eurostar, and you can fly. I've done all those means of transport. The one we choose as a family, because in my party we have a child who is disabled and has allergies, and for us as a family it's just easier to pack up the car with a wheelchair, a feeding pump and medicines and get into the car and travel. That's the way we've chosen to go to Disney. I have, prior to children, I have used the Eurostar and the flying. I do find those two means of transport are the best. I'm not the best at the ferry. I've been twice and both times are just not for me. But there is the ferry crossing, and the Eurotunnel is amazing. It's a 35-minute trip on the Eurotunnel via a car, and it's amazing. Eurostar, I think it's 2 hours, from St Pancras to Disneyland Paris. There is 2 trains you can catch. There is one that goes directly straight to Disneyland Paris, and there's another one where you have to get off at a train station and just connect to another train, but that is really super easy to do. So that's how you get to Disneyland Paris. Where to stay when you get to Disneyland Paris. Now, there is some partner hotels which are just on the outskirts of Disneyland Paris, and they are really good. Like, just to name 2, the Magic Circus and Kairad Hotel. They are really nice hotels. I have personally stayed in those 2. But for me, it will always be, hand on heart, my favourite hotels are the Disneyland hotels. So they are situated into 3 sections. You have your budget, your plus and your premium hotels. Now, me personally, I wish they'd get rid of the star ratings, because it does put people off staying in those hotels which are like classed as a 2-star hotel. Just a word of warning, the hotels which are a 2-star hotel are not because you are going to like a bit of a cesspit and it's not going to be nice and clean. They are a low star rating in my personal opinion, because A, they've got no amenities, they've got no pool, they've got no gym, and most of the 2-star hotels, their reception area and breakfast area and dining area is situated separately to your hotel rooms. Therefore you have to come out of your hotel room and your hotel blocks and walk to your breakfast area. So that's classed as an inconvenience kind of thing, therefore it is lower on the hotels. So let's name the hotels. So in the budget hotels, you have got Santa Fe. Santa Fe is Cars themed. It's one of my personal favourites. I absolutely love staying there. And also, just a side note for disabilities, you can get an adapted room in Santa Fe. You can get an adapted room, which is a larger room, and then you have a wet room, and all your facilities are on a lower, so your light switches are lower. It's all wheelchair friendly, etc, etc. Also, as well, if you're staying with someone who is your carer, you can get an adapted room with the interconnecting door. So if your party is more than 4, then you are entitled to an adapted interconnecting room. Please check with your tour operator, because you will need to tell them that before you actually book your hotel, so they can ring up Disney to make sure that room is available when you actually need it. Then you have Cheyenne, which has just had the most gorgeous revamp, and now it is a Toy Story theming, and their theming is on point. It is so magical. I really, really like Cheyenne. Once again, it is a 2-star hotel, and once again, it's because there's no amenities, there's no pool, there's no gym, and you are slightly further away from the Disneyland parks. But Santa Fe and Cheyenne are quite close together. You have the Disney River and a little bridge which separates the hotels, and it's a really nice 15-minute walk. Me personally, I would always walk from your hotel and avoid the shuttle bus. There is a free shuttle bus, but some people don't like to queue, and it can become a bit of a push and shove, and you just don't need that. So me personally, I'd rather walk. And a top tip is, if you do walk, you'll go past your hotel, you'll go through the Disney Village, and once you get into the Disney Village, you're already security checked, and it saves a long time, and you avoid all the main queues to get into Disneyland Paris itself. So top tip, please walk via the village, and you'll already get security check, and it's a lot quicker and a lot easier to do that. Then you have your plus hotels, which are Tequila Lodge and the Newport Bay Hotel. Tequila Lodge is like a log cabin. It is really, really nice. The theming inside is like a Chip and Dale Forest. It's all forestry. It's a woodland feel. For me, perfect time to stay in autumn time, and especially at Christmas with the log fire roaring in the bar area, sitting there with a hot chocolate. Win-win. It is absolutely lovely. Then you move on to Newport Bay, which is classed now as a 4-star hotel. It had a massive revamp, and it is absolutely luxury. It is really, really nice. You get more of a Donald Duck-esque about Newport Bay, and like you feel like you're on a boat as well. These hotels are classed as a 3-star hotel and a 4-star hotel, and once again, why these classed as a 3 and a 4-star hotel is they have a lot of amenities. They have a gym, they have a bar, a gym, they have a pool area, and also with these hotels, they have another standard of rooms which are called club rooms. So in Tequila Lodge you have the Golden Forest rooms, and in Newport Bay you have the Compass Club rooms. With these benefits, you do have to pay a premium for these rooms, that you have a private check-in desk, you have your private bar area, and also between 3 and 5:30 you get free tea time snacks and free drinks. It's a really nice buffet and free drinks, and then also as well you get extra fast passes to use in the park as well, and your rooms are a little bit more fancy dancy. Some of the rooms, if you ask for a lakeside room, you will have a little bit of a balcony, and you can look out onto the lake. So they are the hotels. Then you go onto your premium, which is New York Hotel, and the most gorgeous hotel of them all, which is the bright pink one, the Disneyland Hotel. New York Hotel for me doesn't have enough Disney Forest about it. It falls a bit flat. However, the new makeover they are currently having to make it into a Marvel, I think it'll be really, really good. It's perfect to stay in there at Christmas time because you're right near the ice skating rink with the Christmas trees, and it is gorgeous to skate there. Really nice feeling when you go at Christmas time, because you do feel like you're in Central Park, like skating. It's really, really nice. And then you move on to the main hotel. This one is luxury at its best. It is absolutely divine. This is the only hotel I've not been able to stay in due to the price point. It is quite high, and I've never got round to staying in it. It is gorgeous. I have used their restaurants and their cafes. It's gorgeous. If you are not staying in there, I do honestly recommend just going in and actually smelling the hotel, because it is gorgeous smelling. It's like this, everyone knows it from this smell. It is absolutely lovely. The wallpaper is like, it looks really fancy, and then when you get closer, it's got little bits of Disney magic in it. It's beautiful. If you go there at 3 o'clock, you can actually see they have a welcoming parade, which is the princesses and characters walking down the staircase. At Christmas, they have a real gingerbread house which smokes, and that is incredible at Christmas. So yeah, and also with these premium hotels, you get your swimming pools and you get your club rooms as well. So they're the places to stay. Me personally, I have stayed in, like I've said, I've stayed in everyone apart from the main hotel, and I like Santa Fe, I like Cheyenne. They are brilliant, because at the end of the day, you are spending more time in the parks than you will be staying in your actual hotel room. Basically, your hotel room is just where you sleep. You get up in the morning and you're straight out of there. But if you are having a longer stay, then I do recommend the higher price hotels, where you can come back and you can relax, you can go in the pool area if you're on a longer stay. But if you are under a 4-day stay, then I do recommend Santa Fe and Cheyenne. For the price point and for what you actually use it for, they are more than what you need. Then we move on to meal plans. Your meal plans are breakfast, half board or full board. Just to let you know that in all the hotels situated in the Disneyland hotels, you do not receive free breakfast anymore. So you'll be needing to add on a breakfast plan. Me personally, I've used McDonald's, I've gone to Starbucks, and I've used some of the little cafes down USA Street in the morning for a croissant and a drink, and it's done us all right as a family. And also, you can bring food into your hotel and have a breakfast in your hotel. It's not something you need, but however, if you're wanting a continental breakfast or a full English breakfast, then you will be needing to add on the breakfast plan onto your stay. Then you move on to your half board, which includes breakfast, and also it includes lunch or evening meal. You have to decide whether you want to use your voucher for your lunch or your evening meal. Me personally, I've always used my half board voucher for my evening meal. So your half board is split into 3 categories. You have your standard, which is more than 5 restaurants you can use it in. Then you move into your plus, which is more than 15 restaurants you can use it in. And then you have your premium, which is all your restaurants you can use it in. Now, you don't be put off by the meal plans. So with your meal plan, your voucher, different meal plans, your standard, plus and premium, all have a monetary value to them. So for instance, if you're on a standard half board plan and you're wanting to enjoy the Buffalo Bill show, you will then use your monetary value of your voucher. So say it was €30, say, and you can then add to that to go to a Buffalo Bills show. However, if you go into a standard restaurant, say a Net, say, and you don't fancy the half board meal plan, what's included, so it's like between 4 starters, 4 mains and 4 puddings, plus your complimentary soft free drink. Say you're just wanting a burger and that burger is €20, you can use your voucher for that monetary value, but please be warned that if the monetary value is less than what your voucher was, you don't get any money back for that. Me personally, I like the plans, the meal plans, what you can choose from. You get a lot of variety in those meal plans. But just a word of warning as well, not many people know this, is if you have got a free complimentary half board included in your price, then do know that your breakfast is not in your hotel. It will be a counter service breakfast. You'll be allocated your counter service restaurant upon arrival. They will let you know which restaurant you can use your breakfast vouchers in. It can be in the studios or in the parks, and I think sometimes it can be in the village, but you will know that upon arrival when you get to your hotel. Then you come on to full board, which includes breakfast, your lunch and your dinner, and once again they are separated into standard, premium, plus and premium, and that is entirely on what you want to use them for. So we've gone into dining and things like that. Your premium does cover like your character dining, your inventions, your Buffalo Bills, your princesses. I think Captain Jack Sparrow's, I think that's now a premium, not a plus. So it covers an array of meals, but it's down to your budget. Me personally, if you are staying less than 4 days, I don't think a meal plan is necessary, unless you're wanting to do, if you're wanting to do like all the character dining, then it will save you money paying up front for the premium plan up front. But that's entirely up to your budget and what you want to get out of it. So yeah, some tips and tricks which I have learned on the way with disabilities and allergies. Because I don't think it's a subject which it's not very spoke about, and there's not much information regarding it. And I have been 6 times now with my daughter. Just a bit background information, my daughter has a wheelchair, she is fed via an NG tube, and she has severe allergies. One of her allergies requires an EpiPen. Now do not get me wrong, I was so scared of going to Disneyland Paris because of the language barrier, and is she going to still have the same experience as us? And it is completely doing Disney completely differently, I will admit that. However, letting your tour operator know straight away you have someone in your party who is disabled, then they will give you the best plan possible for you, which hotels are more suitable for your price range, and also as well they'll give you more information of what you can expect and what you need to take with you. So if your party has someone who is disabled, then please bring proof of that disability. That can be a blue badge, a DLA letter, or a letter from your doctor. Now it has to be in date by 3 months prior to your arrival of your stay at Disney. When you arrive at your hotel, they will tell you to go to one of the parks, so either Disneyland Park or Walt Disney Studios. Word of warning, everyone goes to the Disneyland Park to get their easy access disabled badge because it's what mostly people say when you check in. But you can get it at Walt Disney Studios. It is on your right hand side next to where you can take out buggies and things like that. It's there, and you can go in there and you hand in over your paperwork. You can get a priority card or an easy access card. They both do the same thing. It just depends on the severity of your disability and if you are a registered disabled. So if you've got a blue badge, you will be given a priority card, and if you have an accident, so say you broke your arm or your leg or you're pregnant or something like that, then you will have an easy access card. Now what does this mean? What this means is you'll be given a special adapted map, and that will tell you where you need to go for certain rides, where to go for meet and greet characters, and where to stay in the parades or the light shows. So with this access pass or priority pass, you're entitled to, the person who is disabled, up to 4 carers. So that is 5 people for 1 pass. Then what you do is you go to your ride you would like to go to, and on the ride it's mostly the exits of the ride. You'll then hand over your easy access card. If the queue is absolutely huge, then you will be given a time slot when to come back to go straight onto that ride. If the ride is quiet, then most likely they'll ask you just to stand to the side, and then you'll get on as soon as possible. That is the same with meets and greets with characters. You go to the exit of the the character meet and greet, you speak to a cast member. If the meet and greet line is short, then you'll be allocated a slot straight away, and also if it is long, you'll be given a time slot, which is brilliant because you can go around doing other things and then come back at that time. Also as well, with parades and light shows, with that light show and parade, that only entitles you to the disabled person and a carer, so that's 2 people only to go into the special disabled slot on the parades and also in the light show. Now, a word of warning and something which I have come to know is the section where it is sectioned off for the parade is quite small, and to me personally, you don't get the best views for the parade, and sometimes it can become a bit cramped, and you are separated from your rest of your party. I understand why they do it because the section is so small, but you are separated from your family. So if there's me and my little girl who go into the disabled section, I'm separated from my husband and my little boy. So what we tend to do is get into the parade about 40 minutes beforehand, and with a certain place we stand, and Grace is wheeled near a chair, and we have the perfect view. So just know that you don't have to use the disabled area. There is other areas on the parade route which are better for people with disabilities, and you're not separated from your party. However, when it comes to the light show, they have a massive section for the disabilities, and it is brilliant, really good, brilliant views and everything like that. However, once again, it's only for the person who is disabled and 1 carer in your party. But what we have learned is if we speak really nicely to the cast member and say, look, we're a party of 4, we are separated. If that area doesn't get filled up, is there any chance we can come back as a family? 9 out of 10 times, if it's not full, the cast member will then allow you to be joined with your party. It is just being nice to the cast member and explaining your situation, because at the end of the day, they understand that if it is empty and you are separated, it's nice to experience the light show as a family. So be warned that the parade and the light shows, you are only allowed a disabled person and a carer into those areas, but everything else you're allowed up to the disability person and then 4 other people connected to that card, so a maximum of 5 people. Allergies. Allergies was the most scariest thing. I was really scared of because I was like, language barriers, and I really don't want my daughter to be poorly. However, I shouldn't have worried. They are on the ball with allergies. I don't know, they just are. They're amazing. So what I do is I go onto the Disneyland Paris official website, and you click about, I think it is, and it says allergies. Click on that and there will be a booklet. Print that booklet off and read it. It allocates the most of the allergens which they avoid in their meals for you, and they make up some really nice menus for your child or for yourself, so you never feel left out. When we were going to the princess's meal, we even had the chef come out to us to make a special meal for Grace. So they really do go beyond and above what they need to do. It's just amazing. And also as well, in there it will show you what the cookies, or the cookies for the counter services, because most of the cookies are the same in all the counter services around Disneyland Park, so you don't have to ask all the time. It is really clearly labelled in this allergen booklet, so I strongly recommend printing that off. I also have rang Grace's allergies, just so it's easier to see and show person. If you're going to a restaurant and you've booked your restaurants via the Disney dining line, you can book that 60 days prior to arrival, and I strongly recommend you doing that. So if you are wanting to book a meal, then please ring the Disneyland Paris dining line 60 days prior to your arrival, because if you are more than a 4 in a party, then they do get booked up quite quickly, and it just saves your disappointment when you go to book your restaurants in your hotel and saying that you can't get in. Booking in advance is the best thing to do. So that is everything you really need to know about allergies and disabilities. And there is some rides which you don't have to vacate your wheelchair. They have special like the flying carpet ride, you can actually go on with your wheelchair and your carer. Also there's Small World as well. They have a special boat, so you can get wheeled onto your wheelchair and strapped in, and your guests can be with you. They do everything possible to make your experience absolutely magical. Also, just to let you know, is that with staying on an on-site hotel, your park passes become a hopper ticket. So that means you can hop between the park and the Walt Disney Studios at any time you would like throughout your stay. Also, your park pass is allocated as a fast pass. So fast passes are allocated to certain busier popular rides. So for instance, Thunder Mountain to Peter Pan to Buzz Lightyear ride, and in the studios you have got Ratatouille and also the Crush Coaster. What that means is you would go to the Fast Pass area and they have Fast Pass booths. You would slide your park pass ticket into the booth. It will come out the opposite side with also an allocated time. With the allocated time, it has a half-an-hour gap. So for instance, between 1 and half 1. You would go back to that ride at that time. Instead of going to the normal queue ride, you would go to the Fast Pass ride, and then you, instead of waiting 90 minutes say, you would only wait in 10 minutes. Also as well, some of the most popular rides, Ratatouille for instance and the Crush Coaster, have single riders. If you are one of the people in your party who would want to go on a particular ride and no one else wants to, then I highly suggest going on the single rider. It will cut your time slots down so much, and then you'll be able to enjoy your ride and then get back to your family and enjoy the family fun you are going to have. Also as well, if you have small children who can't go on certain rides, but you as an adult would like to participate in those rides, for instance Thunder Mountain, you would then have one of your adults would queue up in the normal queue or would use the fast pass system. The other adult with the children would go to the exit of the ride. You would then tell your cast member at the exit of the ride that you would like to do parent switch. What that means is that the parent who is waiting in the normal queue will then get onto the ride, have their time on the ride, they would come out through the exit, and then the other parent would then switch and then go straight in onto that ride. So then both parents have the fun of the ride and you're never leaving your children on their own, which I wouldn't do anyway. But that is a really good service what not many people know about. So the parent switch is really, really ideal if you've got children who can't or don't want to go on the most thrilling rides, but as a parent you would like to have that. Parent switch is ideal. So that's really everything you really need to know about Disneyland Paris, just to get you started if this is your first time going. I will be doing some more of these videos about some more of the tips and tricks when you get to Disneyland Paris, just so where the best photo opportunities are, where to see the best characters, the little bits and pieces which they don't say like the best places to get to stand in parade, or the best places to get some really nice photos. I will be talking about that more in my up and coming videos. So I hope you enjoyed this video. As always, sending positive thoughts, Rachel. Bye!